Manchester may well be Britain's greatest city for music. Manchester and Mancunians are certainly of that opinion. From the Halle Orchestra to Oasis, the Hollies and Northern Soul, to Factory Records and Manchester, this is a city with swagger and talent in equal measure, and a rich and varied musical past, present and doubtless future. This walk through several decades of Mancunian music takes us between its two major stations, Piccadilly and Victoria, both served by Northern trains and the Metrolink trams. Leave the station by turning right onto Station Approach, celebrated in the Elbow song of the same name that tells of a traveller's joy on returning home to their beloved city. Double back for a moment onto Store Street and marvel that here, beneath the pavements, in a former air raid shelter turned subterranean car park, was the famous Warehouse Project. Aphex Twin, DJ Shadow, Chic, MIA, Florence and the Machine all played here, although it was best known for its legendary rave and house nights. Cross over the road and head into Whitwood Street. Here, high on the wall between the Motel 1 Hotel and the Q car park, you will see a blue plaque commemorating that this was the site of the legendary Twisted Wheel Nightclub, which was seminal in the development of Northern Soul, mod and R&B music, and in DJ culture, where techniques like the slip queuing of records were developed. Continue down Whitwood Street and notice on the left Sackville Street, where one of the city's Manchester legends in Spiral Carpets had their headquarters. It gave its name to one of their early big tunes, the instrumental favourite Sackville. In Spiral Carpets gave an early job as a guitar roadie to a young lad from Burnage called Noel Gallagher. While living at number 47 in the apartment block of flats called India House, a little further down Whitwood Street, he wrote most of Definitely Maybe, Oasis' multi-million selling debut album. Head down Princes Street. On the corner of Charles Street, in the heart of the UMiston University campuses, you'll see the unassuming steel doorway of what was once the city centre headquarters of Factory Records. This was the nerve centre of the coolest and most individual independent record label in the world, home to Joy Division, New Order, James, the Durruti Column, Happy Mondays and many more of the city's most important and pioneering bands. Run by local TV presenter and general force of nature Anthony H. Wilson, it was perverse, thrilling, chaotic and hugely significant. A little further along Charles Street is one of Manchester's newest and most exciting ventures, Yes, with a basement club, a gig venue, street food kitchen and roof terrace. Only opened in 2018, it's already established itself as one of the city's prime destinations for music lovers. Turn back towards town along Oxford Street. At a crossroads with the old Corner House Arts Centre and the Palace Theatre, take a left onto Whitwood Street West. Facing each other across the street here are two terrific venues, old and new. The historic Ritz is a classic 1940s sprung dance hall in the vein of Wheaton Casino, Glasgow Barrowlands or London's Astoria. Sinatra played here in the 50s and the Smiths played their first gig here. Directly opposite is Gorilla, a lively bar, kitchen and gig space where hip alternative acts come to play, as well as hosting brilliant club nights. Carry on down towards Deansgate, but just before the main road, bear left into Tony Wilson Way, named after the man himself, who sadly passed away in 2007. Here, along with the statue of Friedrich Engels, reflecting the city's radical past, is Home, Manchester's leading arts space. Across the road from here is an apartment block whose name refers to its illustrious and infamous past. The Hacienda was one of the world's most famous nightclubs, the brainchild of Tony Wilson and New Order, and scene of some legendary gigs by the Smiths, Madonna and the Stone Roses. It was the birthplace of Manchester and one of the first UK clubs to play the new house sounds coming from Chicago. On your right is one of Manchester's most famous and best loved pubs, the Britain's Protection. Here you may well find, outside in the popular beer garden in summer probably, members of the current crop of fine Manchester bands such as Elbow, Dutch Uncles or Everything Everything, as well as the brass section of the Halle Orchestra dashing in within seconds of taking their final bow at their home next door. The Bridgewater Hall is one of the finest concert halls in Europe. A statue of the Halle's famous founder, Sir John Barbarolli, stands outside on the square named after him. Across the tram tracks from here, you'll see the Manchester Exhibition Centre, formerly the famous GMEX music venue, where New Order, The Smiths and Spiral Carpets, U2, Kraftwerk and Happy Mondays all played. Go around to the front of the ornate Midland Hotel and walk a little down to the Radisson Hotel. A plaque will tell you that this was the site of the Peterloo Massacre, a significant and tragic event in British history, but it also has great musical significance. This was once the Free Trade Hall, another fixture of the gig circuit, in whose small upstairs room, the lesser Free Trade Hall, the Sex Pistols performed in the summer of 1976. The few people there that night went on to form Joy Division, The Smiths, The Fall, Buzzcocks, Simply Red and Factory Records. From here, bear right at Central Library to cross St Peter's Square. You'll end up roughly in the vicinity of Piccadilly Gardens. Local heroes James played to thousands here in 1997 from the roof of the Piccadilly Hotel. Cross the gardens and enter the Northern Quarter via Oldham Street. At number 22 stood Dry Bar, intended by Factory Records as a city centre bar version of the Hacienda, and used as an office and a hangout by all the city's musicians of the 90s. Head up the main junction with Swan Street and turn left to find the historic, but still very much with us, Band on the Wall. This has been a drinking haunt for centuries, but since the 70s, it's been one of Manchester's premier venues for reggae, punk, jazz, prog and world music. From here, it's a short walk to Victoria Station and your connection or tram back to Piccadilly.
The next train to arrive at platform 5 is the 10:50 Northern service to Southport.